Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indie Comics Japan. Yet again, I brought on another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And without further ado, we got this guy.
This guy right here. What's up, everybody? I'm Dee Rosario from Unstoppable Comics. Been making books since 2008. Hanging out with this guy over here to my side for a couple of years, talking to a bunch of talented indie comic book creators on a nearly weekly basis about what they're doing and what they can share with others who are trying to do the same thing.
Yep. And let me tell you something, everybody. Just this last, what was it? Thursday, Wednesday night, right? Yeah. I was at Jay's place.
Okay.
Fantastic. Great host.
Yeah.
Wonderful food.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
Yeah.
Got to touch Galactus. Was incredible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Galactus. Yeah. That's it. Well, you expecting me to say something bad, weren't you?
No, you saw the action figures. You saw the first hand up close. That was huge.
They were nice.
Right?
They were nice.
The prototypes that rarely people get to see. Come on, bro. That's big.
I even got to take one home with me.
Son of a mother flower.
Tell you, it's Puerto Rico. You got to watch us.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Not this time. I was tempted though. It's gonna take
and now you're gonna watch this show, and Jay is just his eyes are gonna be like, "What did he take?
What do you think? They already are. I looked to the stash, and I'm like, how many boxes are there? How many boxes are there?
Listen, I knew there was a reason why he hugged me as hard as he did. You know, when I was leaving, you know, he was
pat down.
No, I tossed you, bro.
So the GI Joe in your pocket, or are you just happy to leave?
Yeah, exactly.
When I gave him the cards, he was like, "I'll just put them in my pockets." Like you had more than one. Come on, bro.
Hey, listen, man. You know, you gotta get. You know, you show up to enjoy. You gotta get what you can get. Right. All right. Let's bring on the guests, as we say. So, Ralph, please introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ralph Madrigal from Starcross Comics, creator of Atreidian Justice. And keep away from my Black Adam, JD Calderon. Let me take in my figures. My boy Black Adam.
I'll be honest with you, Black Adam is safe.
Oh, come on.
Black Adam is safe. Now, if you had like a Grendel figure, then you might be in trouble. Okay. There you go. Alfred, how you doing? Please introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? My name's Alfred Paige. I run Page One Comics. I'm the head creator and writer in association with Comicsburg. And we just here to talk about the big year for 2026. Let's go.
All right, cool. Kevin, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, JD? And my name's Kevin Crook with Crooked Comics. I'm the writer, creator of Premonition and the Fates of Destiny. Issue 4 is out now on Kickstarter.
All right, very nice. Last but certainly not least,
almost late to the show. Good to see you, Ralph.
What's going on, Ray?
Good to see you, Alfred. Nice to meet you, Kevin. Ray Jameson, writer of the Madcaps. Kickstarter and pre-launch right now for the final issue. Great to be on.
Awesome. Very good.
Hold on a second.
Very good.
I want to call a TV timeout.
Good.
TV timeout before we go any further. What the hell happened to Ray's beard? What the hell happened to your beard, kid?
You know what? If you give me 5 minutes, there's a good story for this.
You know, it's funny. Did he have a beard the last time he was on? I don't even remember.
You know what? I was lazy for a while. I had about 6 months of hair on my face. I don't know if you class this
6 months.
I'm joking. 6 weeks. Pardon the slip. That's a week. 6 months, man.
I was gonna say
it's like a malnourished beard.
Yes.
Sorry.
Well, these are your 5 minutes. Let's go. Chime them in.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
Okay, I'm just going to hang out. You could just watch me for 5 minutes, and then I'll give the answer. I'll be right back, and then I can answer your question. Hold on.
Nice.
You're supposed to be a storyteller, bro. Come on, man.
I am.
He probably has one of those fake ones he's going to put on.
This stuff is supposed to be in your back pocket, kid. Oh, yeah. You're giving the rest of us,
He's the youngest kid in this.
This is Canadian storytelling, guys. Canadian storytelling.
Gotcha.
The fact they got Jeff Lemire and John Byrne out of there, I don't know.
I don't get it. Kevin, you're not from Canada, are you?
I'm almost here.
Hell no.
There we are. I made it back.
There you go. Oh, we thought you were gonna have the beard on.
No. So what happened is I did a little a weird little campaign thing where I'm like, if I can get 72, or no, I forget the number, but if I get X amount of time, I would give Chad Perkins my beard. And it didn't hit that number, but I got 72 followers now. But I was going to give him this. It's got my beard pasted on it, but that's what happened to my beard.
I don't know if I should be like, wow, that's great, or is that just gross?
It's creepy. It's creepy. I was going for creepy. I stuck the landing 10 out of 10.
It's Canadian.
It's definitely not Canadian. I'll tell you that much. I've never seen that before.
That's going to be about $70 shipping.
The most expensive beard in history.
Yeah. I would make Chad drive to your place to pick it up.
It was, I think, about 27 below freezing a couple days back. I'm sure he'd love it.
Holy shit.
It's almost at the point where you spit and it shatters on the sidewalk. Not quite, but almost there.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Out Texas, man, that's like crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to like 10, right? I think, Jay, right? We were down to like 10 degrees. Or like it feels like 10 degrees.
It feels like 10 with the windshield factor or wind shear. Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know what? I apologize. I got to convert this over. So minus, I think it was 27 Fahrenheit. That's minus 17. There we go. That was the number.
That doesn't make it better, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm not trying to make it better. It's like, it's awesome here. I love it. Chaotic and beautiful.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I'll keep it. That's fine.
All right, gentlemen, we're in 2026. Here's the show question. All right. What do you plan on accomplishing this year? Right? What do you plan on accomplishing? And, we started at the right spot. Ray, you're in the hot seat.
Okay. Well,
in last, question first.
That's perfectly fine. So first thing I want to get done here is this mini series. Issue number 3. I have a couple of mini goals with it. One of them is I want the highest follower count possible. I think the highest I've done after the campaign was finished, after pre-launch, after the campaign, everything was like 121 followers. I'm trying to surpass 150 this time. Last year, I went through 62 appearances on podcasts promoting it. I want to break that as well. So far, comparing last January to this January on just scheduling alone, I'm already ahead by 5 appearances. I'm also almost finished with Victor Medina doing interiors, so working on the storyboard and stuff and actually just fleshing out and making the actual images on the panels. Dan Kemp, my colorist, is making some magic on there. Micah Myers, who's been lettering the last 2 issues, he just pumps out some magic. But the big goals for me are actually relatively small ones. They all contribute. The change added up equals the dollars, if that makes sense. So it's a bunch of little tiny goals for me. The byproducts will take care of themselves.
All right.
Nice.
Fair enough. Ralph, what are you looking to get accomplished this year?
Well, so look, for sure, Madrigal, just number 4, which is already launched already. From there, it's going to be a major crossover with Starcross, Radical Comics, Idleverse. It's a Union of Justice that's part of the Atreidian series that eventually will lead to Henosis Authority. I know we all saw that 16 creators. So those 2 books, my book, Union of Justice, which is Atreidian. Then we have Divine Justice, another crossover with Atreidian. And then another crossover that I got with Punt Press Comics. So it's going to be an exciting year for Starcross and for Atreidian. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Mr. Paige, what's it looking like for you?
Yeah. Man, 2026, man, we got a lot of plans. We're trying to extend the name over. We got a 100-page crossover called Earthfall coming out this summer. We got of course, the Footpath campaign now and the crossover that follows with Hunted Pizza and Mark Pauldring in the game called Hostile Assets. And we got a lot of stuff going on. We got the I guess you could call it part 2 of Bear and Bullets in a one-shot called The Bear that brings back Subject Zero and Pinpoint together. So we got a lot of plans, a lot of things coming up this year.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Kevin, what's your year shaping up to be?
JD, it's looking great. We're getting this color. This is coming out in just a couple weeks. Kickstarter going on, issue 4, Premonition and Fates of Destiny. What's exciting is number 5 is pretty much produced, except for the colors. So we're working on finishing that up next few months and putting issues 1 through 5 into one great big graphic novel over 136 pages. So it's going to be an exciting year to get that out. That's going to be in the Kickstarter later this year. We'll be back on when that happens, looking at April-May timeframe. Also, issue 6 began production with our artist. The wonderful, sexy lines of Marcelo Sanchez of Chile.
Oh, nice.
So,
Cool. Very nice. Tom.
For me, it's mostly about sort of just getting back to normal. Last year was nothing was normal last year. It was not the way we wanted to celebrate 15 years of Big Dog Inc. But we got through. We had to get through. We reset what we had to reset. And I've been working this last quarter of the year to kind of push 26 ahead as far as I can. So we can get back to consistency and maybe even better than we've ever been as far as like building these books further and further out, so that when we actually do get to the crowdfunding, we're closer and closer to having them like completely done, and have the fulfillment turning and burning. And so that's what we're really looking at in 26. Is it's just I have to take it. I mean, everything starts with me because I write everything that we do. So I've got to just keep the creative fires on all the time. I got to keep all the artists working all the time. As few bumps in the road as possible. This whole year is going to be mostly Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. It's the 15-year anniversary of that book. So we're celebrating that kind of throughout the year. We have the final issue of Goth Day, which will be out in May, that I'm doing with CB Zane. And then in June, fingers crossed, this we still may push till next year. But in June, we're trying to get our Shark book out, which will be our first, what they call an OGN, original graphic novel. So instead of releasing it as floppies, we're just going to release the whole 100-page book in one shot. So we're working on that. I'm going to make a judgment call as we get to the summer as to whether or not we go ahead and put that on the crowdfunding list for the year. But we were going to try and do it last year to tie it in with the Jaws 50th anniversary, but we had to do what we had to do last year. So since we kind of lost that, it can kind of go wherever I want it to go now. And then at the end of the year, we'll have our new format, another new format that we're doing. Jesse Witchman and I are getting together to do the full Amityville Sorority Sisters horror book. And so that, again, will be a big, like 40-page book, but it's going to be in like, I don't know what they call it, like the distillery style, like that 10 by, whatever that square, format is.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do the Amityville Sorority Sisters in that format as a 48-page square bound thing to kind of have. So we'll have the Shark book, we'll have that. So we're going to start putting out some, sort of variations on, design as well as, just our books. So, and then that'll take us into 27, which will be all Critter all year long, with already massive plans and other creators tied into that. So we'll start talking about what that's going to be in the summer of this year.
Cool. Jay.
All right. I'm trying to keep it simple. Trying to hit 6 releases this year. 6, right? That's the goal. Don't know if we can achieve it, but we're shooting for it. Started off the year with The Dead Princess Vicky Styx, launching on Friday, February 13th. It felt like it was right to do a monster book. Friday the 13th. But after that, we're looking at a release almost every other month. If I can squeeze in 5 before New York Comic Con, that'd be awesome. If not, then we'll definitely have 4 locked in for the event. And I'm going to be working on a crossover also with a couple guys that are in this top row. Not a major crossover, something that I think we can all achieve and would benefit all of us as well. We've been talking about it. You know, oh, sorry, that was dinner.
No.
yes. Yeah, but that's the plan. That's the plan. 6 releases this year, right? So hopefully I'm definitely starting off the year with Vicky Sticks, and hopefully ending off the year with Vicky Sticks as well.
All right, cool. For myself, I got Oswald currently running. A Dreamweaver's just finished. No, Magi's Grace just finished. I'm looking to launch Dreamweavers at the end of this month. And then probably a release, I don't know, every 3 weeks. Every 5 weeks between both accounts for the rest of the year, something crazy like that, And I'll be repping my first creator from outside the country. He's from the Philippines. His name is Rod. And it's for his book called The Adventure Finders. So I think that's going to be kind of cool. So I'm going to be doing the first trade paperback from on Kickstarter. Since he's from the Philippines, he has no access to it. So we're going to be wrapping him, and I think that'll be cool. So
nice.
So we'll be doing that. And it's Rod Espinoza. So
yeah,
if anybody's curious. All right, Jay, what do you got?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I got a question, Tom. But all right, based on what everybody's saying, right? We're all seasoned here. We got a couple books under our belts. But how far in advance are you guys planning? Right? Not just what's getting worked on, but if you put together a schedule on when you need to have this script ready, when you need to have these pencils ready, X, Y, and Z. How far are you planning? 2, 3, 5, 10 years in advance, right? Like really, not wishful planning. How much do you have like on the schedule, and how far into the future is it going?
Okay, cool. Ralph, you're up.
Okay, man. So I have issues 1 through 8 scripted already, right? Thank God. Full scripts. Out of those 8, there's like 3 crossovers that are fully scripted as well, right? So issue 4 is out. The Union of Justice crossover. I'll probably start working on the art maybe sometime in February for maybe a May release. I'm hoping for May. It's tougher for me working full time at work. At the sheriff's office, and I'm in a new position, so it's a little more stressful to come back home and start working with. So I work with, of course, I can't draw for crap, but I can write, right? So my artist, my colorist, my letterer, which are all amazing guys. 2 of them from the Philippines, and then Joe Spicer out of Starcross, who really helps me a lot as well. My mentor type, but it's difficult when you're saying about the preparation for all these books and for what I have for 2027 and 2028, right? They're scripted. They're already the also big thing we have is with Hypnosis Authority. That's going to be a major crossover probably for 2027. But the hardest part is that, man, trying to make sure I get all the inks done, the colors done, the lettering done. I try to have every single book ready to rock before the Kickstarter is over. I think that should be the right thing we should all do, and having rewards and all that ready to rock. So I've been learning a lot the last 2.5 years that I've been doing this. I've asked a lot of questions. I've learned and I've gotten smarter and wiser with what I do, how much money I spend. It's tougher, man. Man, it's expensive. And I went from spending $6,000 on a comic to about $3,300 with quality. It's quality. The first 2 are awesome, but I think getting quality is super important, But that's the plan. Scripts are done. Prepare arts before the book, the Kickstarters are done. I'm trying to do 3 or 4 Kickstarters this year as well. So that's the plan. 3 or 4 this year, and then the major one next year of Hypnosis Authority. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's challenging. I'm still learning, guys. I'll reach out to some of y'all, and I'll reach out to JD before and questions. I I think the hardest part is also the fan base. You know, how do you get all those? You know, I'm averaging between 120 and 170 backers, and this will be my 5th Kickstarter. So man, I want to try and get to 200 this time around. You know, or hopefully with the Union of Justice, because that's going to be several creators, you know, together. If we can hit 500 with that one, I'll be really happy with that. You know, that's the goal, though. You know, get those books out.
Cool. Alfred, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I got a lot going on this year and a lot of plans for the years after. You know, this year we're doing the 100-page crossover called Earth War with like 14 other creators throughout the industry. And then in 2027, we're planning on extending that idea type of crossover into 12 issues with one every month for the year, starting in January. So, and I got about another 14, 15 creators involved in that, and we're breaking that down now to be prepared for January 2027. So on top of that, this year I got about maybe 5 crossovers coming out, some new releases, a new title that just joined Page One Comics, and yeah, we got a big year. We planning for a couple of years in. We're really trying to step on it for the next coming years.
All right, cool. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
It's all about the money, JD. If you don't have the money, you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just a small-time indie guy, you know what I mean? And there was absolutely no demand. All there is most demand right now for what I got going on. But I set my own goals, and it helps me when an upcoming Comic-Con, I know when that, you know what I mean? It's going to be in May next year. I'm trying to put out my next issue by then. You know what I mean? You got to set those goals. You got to have the money rolling. You know, and then you got to work with your artist schedules as well. I'm a writer-creator like Ralph, so you got to juggle everybody's schedule. Over the year, I found a very, what's the word? Just hard to manage colorists because it would come and go. They'd be like good for one issue, and so I've been juggling colorists from the beginning until I found like some steady guys that are going to, you know what I mean, commit. And so it just narrowing it down to 1 or 2 and not 3 or 4. So, you know, that's always challenging. But let's see. As far as Kickstarter, yeah. So obviously you got to plan your Kickstarter ahead of time and have that book near completion because that only runs 2 months, as you all know. So one hiccup I found with the Kickstarter, you know, and then try to, you know, promising when you're going to send something out, you have to take into account the 2 weeks of funding that you're waiting for those funds to come in before you're going to be sending this out. You're also looking at printing timeframes. And so you got to factor all that in when you're going to be shipping that out. And so, you know, for the most part, it's smooth sailing, you know what I mean? So incredibly, I've been able to put out 4 books this year as a newcomer on the scene. And we're putting high quality products out. I'm spending like $9,000 a year, $100 a page on my, you know, with my artists, you know, putting out 24-page issues and everything. So I'm putting that high quality out there in anticipation of being published, because otherwise all this is self-funded and I get just a little bit from Kickstarter promotions because I really don't have a large fan base. And I'm like a one-man band here, like, you know what I mean? And trying to do all the promotion and everything along with the creator, you know, and the marketing, and I'm out doing Comic-Cons and vendor tables. And so it's hard to get those followers as a newcomer, but I just want to say thank you to all the Kickstarter fans and all the support there for anybody who's watching, and all the people I meet at the Comic-Con. It's just been an amazing experience.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Awesome. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, let me tell you, Kevin, that's a good looking book, man. Because you sent me some copies, and you know, those are some really, really nice looking books. You know, I haven't had the chance to sit down and read them, but I had the time to at least take a quick look.
And I'm selling them digitally on my website, Crooked Comics, as well. So you could just, it's a, you know, $6 download, and like you get it right there in front of you immediately. So I got issue 1 through 4 right now. So yeah, it's just exciting because I'll be putting the 5 together for graphic novel. So that was my main goal. You know, kind of those goals shift as you get to the goalpost. You know, because I didn't know how many issues it would take to get to a graphic novel, maybe 4. Now I know it's 5 because the first 5 complete the first full arc of the story. So it's going to be one hell of a book. So I'm excited for that to come out next year.
I will read them. DM or Ray, what's up? What do you got? You're muted.
There we go.
Nice.
I just want to piggyback on what Kevin's been saying there. I've been kind of in the same boat. I haven't been able to produce as many comics as you quite as quickly, but I did put my money where my mouth was. I had everything lined up front, and anything in regards to Kickstarter for backers, I was not relying on their money. I wanted to give them something awesome. A little bit of hindsight, I've been very fortunate that once this miniseries is done, it is going to front double biceps for Jeremy Lundgren. Once this miniseries is done, it's going out to distribution. I'm flattered. It's going to be one collection. I don't know. It's less than 70 pages, so I don't want to be calling this thing a graphic novel. I don't know, maybe a volume, if you will, or something to that effect, a collection. But one of the main reasons, if not the largest reason why it's a chance has been taken on me for going out to distribution with Filbo Publishing is, like I said, just like you did, Kevin, you put your money where your mouth was. And, this is a thing I'm buying in. I think it's awesome. And me doing this all up front is showing that I actually believe in this. And hopefully you'll take a chance on me too. And that's the long and short of it.
All right, cool. Tom.
So I have planned all the way through 28 at this point. And really we're already planning 2020, which will be our 20th anniversary, which is ridiculous, or 2020, 2030, which will be our 20-year anniversary. So we're not completely solidified that far out, but through 2028 is we know 90% of what it's going to be. So right now it's about working through this year, getting the scripts ahead and basically done for the year by the summer, so that when we get to the summer, it's all scripting for 27, and and then the cycle kind of keeps going. That way you can stay ahead of your artists and all of your art teams, and they can just be working consistently like all the way through. So that kind of goes back to the goals for the year, is just keep the creative, for me, burning and going, so that we can keep everybody working. So 2026 is Oz. 2027 is mostly Critter. 2028 we're back to Ursa Minor. We have Scheherazade on the docket to get back to. 2030 will be the 20th anniversary. So again, back to Critter, Penny for Your Soul. The whole company 20 years old at that point. So but it all comes down to primarily me executing that. And then, like Kevin said, artists, you just never know where they're going to come and go. That's the unfortunate reality of it. And we've had some guys that we've worked with that have moved on to bigger companies. And, I can't sit here and say, no, don't go work for DM Marvel. Like, no, that's not going to fly. But we do get some of them to come back on occasion. They'll do some covers for us or short stories or whatever, but they have moved from where we are to these larger places. Okay, well, then we'll continue to be the minor leagues for these guys, and I'll find new people, which I did. Just last month, I put a call out for a new artist, and I got swamped with amazing quality, and these guys are already doing work for me. So, like, fantastic. Thank you to all the new guys, and I'm excited to show them off to all the BDI fans. But it has to start with me, with the writing and keeping them busy. And then it should all kind of take care of itself. We put a Kickstarter out, we're ahead of the game. Kickstarter ends, we go to print, everything cycles properly and in its, correct domino fall order. And there's always going to be problems. There's always going to be weird acts of God and stuff that get in your way. But the further ahead you can be, that you can plan, then that goes to the second part of your question, JD, which is, okay, we know we have to be here in 28. So how does that break down backwards to the script is here, the art is here, whatever. So once you kind of have, like, even if you just set your year plan, you can reverse engineer that. If we launch the Kickstarter in November, we have to have the art by October, we have to have the script, but you can just reverse engineer it and put yourself in the best possible position to do it. Again, things go wrong, things go sideways, but you can at least have a general path. And so our general path goes through 28, and then that's 3 years away. So we'll run with that for now and see where it takes us.
Yeah. All right, cool. It's funny, is like I don't have like a rock solid plan, right? But I do have like a general, okay, this is the next one, this is the next one, this is the next one. Probably like 3 or 4 out, right? 3 or 4 campaigns out per line. So I have the Oswald line, and then we also have the Angel Wing line, which is Dreamweavers, Magi's Grace, and eventually a couple other titles that'll be hitting the stands. But I don't keep it very tight, right? I kind of keep it loose because I need it fluid, because sometimes I'll sneak something in the middle, right? So yeah. So, but I have
wiggle room.
I need a lot of wiggle room, yeah. But I have enough material, probably to do 12, maybe 13 campaigns back to back. Crazy. And by the time I hit that 13th one, I'll probably have another 13. So, so I'm all right. So Jay, what do you got?
Okay, so of the 6 releases that I'm looking at this year, the artwork on 4 are either done or close to being done. So I'm definitely locking in with that. 2028, May 29th, 2028 is 20 years that I'm making comic books on my own, right? Like the guys have been saying tonight, putting their money where their mouth is. You know what? Let me take a side note for a second. Guys, don't feel bad or ashamed that this thing's expensive. All right, you guys are like, this is costing me this much. I've only got out this many issues. Fuck it, if you got out one, way to be. You're ahead of the curve for a lot of people that are trying to do this. So don't feel bad about that at all. All right, and you know what? Even if you couldn't release that one because you hit a speed bump, life happened. Got it in the can and you're ready to go. So don't feel bad about it. All right, please. That bothers me because this is a lot of fucking hard work. And put that chest out there, man. The first one that's going to believe in it and you is you. So don't feel bad about that. But May 29th, 2028, it's 20 years. I'm planning something. Hopefully I can pull it out, right? I'm definitely going to need wiggle room. But if we don't get all 6 releases that I want out, yeah, okay, that some of that will bleed into 2027. But yeah, I'm planning all the way to 2028, man, and I'm excited. I'm nervous, right? Because I hope I'm here to do that. I hope there's no speed bumps.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That get in the way, right? Because this year was filled with the biggest fucking speed bump of my life. And I hope I can knock that shit out,
All right, cool. But yeah, I mean, to your point,
right.
yeah. I mean, be very proud of the fact that you can put out any books. There's a lot of people that want to do this and can't.
Yeah,
right.
Man.
It's a very
true.
Very expensive endeavor we're going through,
Very true.
All right. So I don't know. Well, I don't even have one for this, but here we go. Bam.
The segue game, bro.
This is how you start 26. We're all screwed.
This is it. This is it. Sorry, guys. Anyway, Ralph, do you ever play this video?
Yeah, sure, man. Awesome.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that came out great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So Ralph,
Very
walk us-
good. Very good.
If anybody hasn't seen anything on Trade Justice, I do have a review of the first
The first one.
one. I'm mixing you up with somebody else. Yeah, the first issue. I'll send you the link, JD, if you want to attach it anywhere.
Okay.
I got to look it up here while everybody else is talking.
Yeah, that's going to be issue 4 is called The Secret. If you know issue 1, issue 2, they kill one of Atreides' buddies. Of course, you know the antagonist is Father Evil, who is basically the father of all evil in the Omniverse, and Atreides justice is powered by the Sword of Justice, which is the primordial living embodiment of justice, right? So in issue 2, one of Atreides' buddies gets killed, DJ, mysteriously. You know, usually the Sword of Justice can pick up on that, but they're going to figure out, oh man, Father Evil must be here because they're blocking our power. So issue 3, we find out who it is, but Atreides doesn't know yet because their powers are still kind of jammed up. And now issue 4 is a secret where they find out who it is. You know, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but you can see it's his son Limestone. So so if you don't know this, when the Sword of Justice baptizes you with its energy or Atreidian, you're cleansed of your sin, right? And you're cleansed of your worldly temptations, right? So if you don't get tempted by women anymore, drugs or alcohol, because now you're powered by the Sword of Justice. But you can be tempted by that chicken with the red outfit, that girl right there. Her name's Cancer. She is as old as Father Evil. She is basically a living disease witch with the power of temptation. So if you're an SOJ Knight, she can still possess you. You know, she might not be able to take you over completely, but she can, make you do things you probably wouldn't normally do. So this is where it goes into that. It goes into the story of figuring out who killed his buddy, Father Evil. They capture Cancer. Father Evil wants to go get his chick back, so he's gonna do everything he can to go get her. So and then it leads up to Father Evil's son coming into the play, who is called Dark Kills because he is the one who kills in the dark. It's an exciting book, which is leading up to, oh man, so many more things.
All right, cool. So this is issue 4 of a how many issue series? Or at least the arc.
It's going to be 8 issues, and in those 8 issues, there will be about 5 crossovers. Because remember, so from the beginning, guys, Atreidian justice is connected to the energies of justice across the Omniverse, every universe, multiverse, timeline. They can time travel, and they're connected to the energies of justice of every hero in these universes. So Atreidian is going to need help in issues 6, 7, and 8. So issue 4, this one, we're going to see a part where he's telling this girl, hey man, I need to go out and look for some guys to help us out with these battles that are coming up. So that's going to lead to these amazing crossovers, man. He's going to go out there and he's going to meet guys from Radical Comics, All-Star, Idolverse, which is Jupiter Man. A lot of guys from Star-Crossed Comics. It also leads to other Punt Press Comics, Nigel, Flood and one of his characters, and then Divine Justice. All these books are intertwined that lead up to all these heroes helping them out in issues 6, 7, and 8. So they're gonna keep, not only are these crossovers gonna happen, but in 6, 7, and 8, some of these superheroes from different universes are going to help with what Atreides is going to be the trial he's going to be going through. So that's the future for us, man.
All right.
Very nice. Very good.
I just wanted to show you this because you sent me this piece earlier. Let's see, what was this? So is this part of your?
Yeah, that's going to be the Union of Justice. So it's out of issue 4 is going to shoot to this. So, man, that's the first time I've shown this. James Nguyen from Starcross, who does Alpha Red, is an awesome artist.
Awesome.
And yeah, those are going to be the first major crossover of Union of Atreidian. By this time, there's another crossover that I have a small one with All Star, which Radical Comics. You know, the guy with the white star in the middle. He's already met this guy, so that's scripted, ready to go. But that's going to be on Ronnie Creates, you know, for Radical Comics to put that out. And it's going to lead to this. You know, you have the Eternals, Starstruck, Red Talon, Alpha Red, and a trade-in from Starcross, and then All-Star from Radical, and Jupiter Man, the guy on the top from Idolverse. So that'll be probably April or May of this year.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. These, you know, thanks to you guys and all the guys that I've met over the years, these collaborating with so many amazing creators. You know, I haven't, you know, to this date, I haven't bought a single commercial comic. It's all been indie stuff. I'm out of it, man. I don't even know what's going on with the commercial stuff. I'm so amazed by how many amazing creators is out there, and how much we put into, and how much work and sweat we put into these comics. You know, and some of us have full-time jobs. You know, it's a little more difficult when we have that full-time job and you got that sheriff. It works by, you know, dealing with the sheriff and the bosses. You know, but thanks to all my fans out there and all the people that I've met over the years. You know, you guys are amazing people, honestly.
All right, cool. So was it your 42 backers? How many days you got left?
28. Yeah.
All right, so you got plenty of time. You good?
Yeah. God's grace.
There you go. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Thank the Lord, yes, sir.
There you go. And then Paige.
Yes.
All righty. So you're currently at Filbo. You sent me this and a few other things. I'll scroll through them.
Yes, that's right. I signed up with Filbo for January 2026. We got 2 releases coming out.
Nice.
We got 2 releases coming out. This one right here is the Blowtorch Gold Foil limited cover. It's a Nito Diaz cover. This cover is actually a sellout at a convention, and the demand it's just in demand. So
you got this from Nito? This must be a little while back. I think he's exclusive to Marvel now, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I just tried.
That is correct.
Wow,
that is correct.
Wow.
This is from Nito Diaz before he got picked up from Marvel, and this is a reprint. But this cover is so big at conventions that we decided to make it available in stores through Filbo distribution. So,
nice.
So yeah, so if you interested, and it comes as a gold foil. It doesn't come as a standard cover. It's coming as a gold foil cover.
Wow.
So look out for that. And this one is the crossover from 2025 called Bear and Bullets that I did with 615 Comics and Advent Comics. Tony Cottrell and Malcolm McFadden. It's incredible success. And so we're going to bring this to stores as well. It's a successful Kickstarter. The feedback on it has been incredible. It has grown since it came out, and now we're going to make that available in stores as well through Filbo distribution in January.
All right.
Nice.
Cool.
So we just extending it out to more people.
All right, nice. And then here's some pages. This is from what? Footpath?
Now this is some latest pages from the Footpath Kickstarter. Of course, we talked about that last time. The Kickstarter was successful. We're actually ahead of progress of our time span. So we're looking at February to have it out, and we're ahead of time. Marcelo is doing a fantastic job. Matthias on the colors has been doing incredible in the pages. As you can see, it's looking great. So we're anxious to get this out into people's hands and see what people think about it. I'm really happy about this project right here. It's real action packed. This is the crossover that's coming up in the middle of 2026 with Haunted Pizza crew. That's Footpath and Gun Goth, Hostile Assets. And that script is done. The artwork has started. We got a lot of names on that from Mike Mahan, Dexter Weeks, Enrico Bada. We got a lot of names attached to this project, a lot of covers, and I'm telling you, it's looking incredible. Edson Isles is the artist on the interior, and it's looking incredible. We're already about 10 pages in, and Yeah, it's fantastic. I can't wait to get this out. And this leads into a bigger crossover after this with Page One Comics and Haunted Pizza. So look out for that. It gets even bigger. So
how many pages in this book? You're guessing 24, 32, somewhere in that area?
I think we hit about 44 pages on this one.
Oh, okay, wow, give me a nice thick book. All right, cool. Very nice.
Yeah, it's very, very long, and that's and we're still adding. I mean, it's not really complete yet. We're still adding the new artists and stuff like that, and some bonuses. So
cool. You want me to play this video?
Yeah. What video is that? Yeah. And I also want to give a shout out. Also want to give a shout out to Jonathan Hendrick, my collaborator on this project as far as the writing, and he presented the Kickstarter, and he did a fantastic job, and it's been incredible. And I thank him for the energy and the talent he put into it. It really worked out.
All right, cool. What's this one?
This is Blow Towards Bad Roads 1 and 2. Actually won 3 awards for best lettering, best story, and it was fantastic. It's a 2-part storyline, and we'll be bringing that back in a trade paperback in 2026 as well.
All right, cool.
There's no sound to it.
Then a man walked through the door. You might jump to conclusions. I'm just here for gas. Huh? Hey! Those guys just stole my car. Do you know them? Look, I don't get involved in stuff like this. You can use the payphone to call the cops. I don't need the cops. I asked if you knew them. They're coming here from time to time looking for booze and cigarettes. Pair of punks. I need details. I can track my car. I just need to know where to find them. There's a farm about 3 miles west of here. Some bad folks call that place their own. Those punks included. That's where you'll find your car. You watch yourself out there. You don't want to mess with the wrong people. No, you don't.
One could say he's a little hot-headed.
Yeah. So Blow Towards Bad Roads 1 and 2. Like I said, I was lucky enough for it to win some awards for best lettering and story, and we're bringing back the full trade this summer.
Right on. Cool. So just a quick recap. So you got 2 books coming out of Philbo in January, right?
Yes, this summer. Yeah, Blow Towards Bury the Past. Go for Your Audition, Nito Diaz, and the Barium Bullets store release. Correct.
All right, cool. And you have what? And then you have a crossover coming over during the summer.
I have a crossover with I got a few crossovers coming up this summer. Actually about 5 of them. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy summer. It's gonna be a busy summer. I got one with Second Sight. I got 2 with Concrete. It's a few coming up. And of course, me and Malcolm McFadden from Barium Bullets is doing another one called The Bear, which features Sub-Zero and Pinpoint. That script is already started in artwork. And another one, Blazing Sun and his character Bronx Soul, more like a 2 superhero type of crossover. So yeah, we are definitely playing in the field with a lot of crossovers, and it's going to be a fun year. It's a lot of activity going on this year on top of Earthfall, which is a 100-page crossover with like Nigel Flood, Dan
That's
Sin.
my boy.
Yeah, a lot. All of them. It's a lot. A lot of people in those pages that's been coming in. And I gotta tell you, you got some incredible artists and incredible creators bringing stuff in. Peter Bill and his team. I mean, just incredible.
All right, cool.
Can I send a shout out real quick? Alfred mentioned Malcolm, good friend of mine. He's part of the Henosis Authority. And Tony Cottrell, man, that's my mentor. That's the guy I first met 10 years ago and probably why I'm here. So big shout out to Tony Cottrell, man. Awesome guy.
Yep. Working with those two. I mean, Malcolm and the work he did and the Kickstarter he did for the presentation and Bearing Bullets, it's been just fantastic. It's a book that actually came out and got bigger as it came out, as it grew. Like it's one of those books that from word of mouth, the success of it has got so big and the demand of it. So we are really happy with how everything turned out with that crossover, and people are enjoying it. I think JD got a couple of pages from it too. So
I didn't see it. I mean, we'll have to do that one next because we have to like keep this moving. We already been through a lot. But next up, we got Premonition and the Fates. Kevin, do you want me to play this video?
Yes, please.
Not do this anymore. Saying everything I said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway. Just like before. Everything you say to me. One step forward to the edge, and I'm about to play.
I like the music.
Right on.
All right, guys. So Premonition and the Fates of Destiny is a cosmic fantasy of epic proportions sprinkled with a mix of Norse, Greek, and Roman mythology. I first introduced well-known mythological characters before introducing my own original ones, as well as lesser-known mythological gods. It is a time beyond Ragnarok. God is dead. Chaos, the child of darkness, is set loose upon the cosmos to destroy at will, along with his evil henchmen manifest. The gods fall in a hopeless battle against evil. With heaven and hell out of balance, Hades spills out onto earth. Desperate to save all that is, the Fates, the Norns, the Moirai, the Parkai, in ancient mythology, or the Fates of Destiny, as I call them, bestow their combined powers of premonition upon our unsuspecting hero to help bring the universe into balance. Throughout time, they have summoned this power during the darkest times in the cosmos. The Yogin, or Premonition Pi, is the latest incarnation of premonition that spans from Alpha to Omega, or from the beginning until the end of the cosmos. So this is the fourth issue of that, right after he gets his powers. See, scroll down a little bit there. Kind of shows you some of the art going on. So I'm introducing Hades. So there's a lot going on here, but this is right after he gets his power from book 3. Like I said, hell is spilling out upon Hades, upon Earth. And so this is what you see, some like the hellhounds coming out.
Nice.
And so at some point they gotta go to the gates of Hades and confront everything, the dead that's being unleashed upon the earth here. Then I have a segment where you can see the psychic that's helping him out, where he's crashing at, reads his fortune and everything. So it goes over some of the information there. And these are some of the cards and things of his past life that's being revealed here. Because, he just got his power. He's still learning to use his powers and everything. So she kind of helps discover who he is along with other people along the way. The Fates of Destiny help train him and everything in preparation of a flare that's on the way to knock out Earth. So, like I said, there's a lot going on here. This is the middle of the story in issue 4. But you can see some of the art. It's all hand-drawn art. We got phenomenal art from Marcelo Sanchez, well-known colorist, Vittorio Astone from Italy. So we got some amazing talent brought together here, along with my amazing story. So check it out, guys.
All right, cool. So now this is the 4th issue. Like, is this? You just said the 5th issue makes this first arc. How many arcs are you seeing in the story?
What's that?
This is the 5th issue. You said makes 1 arc. So beyond that, how many more arcs do you see coming out to complete the story?
2 other ones. So I'm looking at 15 issues. So here we go. And so because we hit a milestone, here's some of the art from the 5th issue here. If you go up, you'll see the 5th issue. If you go up a little bit, you'll see the cover and then the art in progress from snapshot of the 5th issue there.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, listen, man. I've seen the books; they look incredible. So, really, really good job on that. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. So, right now, you put out 4 this year. I mean, you looking to put out 4 next year as well? Yeah. All right. Cool.
Slow it down a little bit here because it's all self-funded for the most part. I get lucky on Kickstarter because I'm selling some original artwork. So if you look at some of the rewards there, you can scroll on that. I'm selling some of the original artwork, 18 by 25 inch pages from our artists, all hand drawn. It's just phenomenal artwork, and it just more size. Like here's, I got some right here to show you if you can see it.
Hold on, I'm gonna take this. Hold on, let me pull this.
Here's a cover right here that he's not doing 11 by 17 inch pages. He's doing 18 by 25 inch hand drawn original pieces that are for sale also on my Kickstarter. Not this one, but I have others for sale.
Right. Where I come from, we refer to that as just enough kill.
What's that? I'll show you.
Those are awesome. Pages. Huge. Look at that.
That's massive.
Yeah, that's massive. Yeah.
Poster pieces that are available through the Kickstarter in either prints or I'm selling some of the original pieces. And so I have one supporter that eats these up every Kickstarter from each one of the issues. And
let me ask you a question. Is he an older guy, your artist?
Not really. No, he looks to be like his mid-30s or something.
Oh, okay. Because usually
he's just absolutely fantastic. We're using hand-drawn art here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Usually I see some of the older artists, they work that big because it's easier for them to see it. Yeah. Their eyesight tends to go. So they tend to
put a lot of time and effort. We started doing 8-9 hours on these pages. And, when you squeeze it down, we're getting a whole lot of detail in there.
Yeah. No, they look really, really nice.
Producing a kick-ass product. Very good. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right. Now, Mr. Ray.
Well, first thing I'm going to say is my mic is still good.
Yeah, your mic is still good.
Okay, so you can hear. Okay. Well, anyways, first and foremost, if anybody listening, even if you only click on follow to this URL, you'll be doing leaps and bounds for me in regards to algorithm and whatnot. But this is all 3 issues to this mini series will be available, debuting issue 3, the final issue, where all the justified action finally starts to take place. I think everybody, and I've said this on other podcasts before, but I've heard this phrase like, one day you went out, you played with your friends on the playground, and you didn't know that was the last time, and that was it. And everybody gets old enough, they have groups of friends, they don't get to see as much as they'd like to, and this little story is an homage to that level of camaraderie. It's a scaled-down, intimate story about 4 friends that are caught up in the wrong place at the right time. There's a little bit of a, almost, if you will, dare I say, a Scooby-Doo mystery involving a fictional drug, which may be the source of an undead outbreak. I have a couple of covers. I'm going to share my screen here.
All right, cool. Hold on. I'm going to pull this down. And I'm going to give you the screen. Where you at? In Alaska. There you go. Pull up the covers.
Window. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Tab. I should get some glasses on. Okay, so Victor Medina, he used this image as a warm-up for issue number 2. I liked it so much. I wanted it to be issue number 3's main cover. He did soup to nuts, right to finishing it up and coloring and throwing the logo on. I think he did a really good job depicting the characters, as he usually does. This is the main protagonist cover. We also have the main antagonist cover, which is a villain reveal of the source of this fictional drug known as weave. This is an elven necromancer, which is very perplexing because that's very anti-elven of such a craft. This is drawn by Harv Selteris, who's one of the first individuals I've ever collected a bunch of his art through his comics. The first year of Volume 2 of Ghost Rider, the Dan Ketch era, that's all his artwork. And this is the second time I've had him make a cover for me. Nice. And I was very fortunate to have him, but also colored by Dan Kemp, who's colored over 100 issues of Spawn, roughly 50 to 150. And they make a really awesome team together. Shout out to Dave Kemp as well for helping out with the logo on this one and dressing the cover accordingly. This last one I just released by an artist who goes by the alias of Pogs. Pogs Art, you can find him on Instagram and Facebook. It's not colored yet. Dan and Dave will be coloring it up. This is the first time I'm actually saying this to the public, but this is going to be glow in the dark. Going to be coloring it up. The background's going to be dark. The logo in the back is going to be white. The only things that will be glow in the dark are the glowing hands, the eyes, and the logo. The logo will be intercepted by the silhouette of Chazgo's head here. I think it's going to look really good when it's done. So if anybody here likes Legend, this is obviously a fantasy-themed book. If anybody likes Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, I definitely have some elements of that story in my own. If you just like fantasy, if you like comics, and if you don't get to see your friends as much as you'd like to, this little intimate day in the life scenario, or to be more accurate, it takes place in one night, all 3 issues. You actually get the sense of understanding how these people are friends. If you were dropped in a scenario with a random group of friends, you would understand how tight-knit they are by the majority of the inside jokes you wouldn't understand, by the amount of synergy they have amongst each other, and the ways they rub each other the wrong way. But we're going to be launching roughly when the snow up here melts, but to be more specific, March or April. We'll see. But I'm very excited. We got a lot of followers. You want to jump in on this now, you will not be behind. You can get all 3 issues, and I've got 7 more covers to debut on this. There's a reason I have so many, but I can't say right now. I've got one awesome one by Fish Lee, which is going to be lava foil, all done. I won't be showing it for probably another 4 weeks, and I can go on and on. Just check out that link and help me out. Just click on that follow alone would be super, super helpful.
All right, cool.
Very good.
Very good. Tom, what are we looking at?
So we don't have a launch page or anything for the Oz that's coming up in January the 24th, but this is going out to March. So this is a really early advanced look at so we've been doing these anthologies, the BD anthologies, the last couple of years, 13, 14, 15. So this year, since we're doing all Oz, we changed it from anthology to Ozthology. It's going to be 3 Oz stories that'll all relate to the main series, but it'll be 3 10-page stories with a couple of new characters introduced as well, a whole bunch of new artists that have never worked for us before. This cover was done by Jason Hare, who's been doing stuff for us forever. He did the regular anthology books, these covers that all connected back in the day. And I was like, well, we're gonna have you come back, but we're gonna change the design up because this is a specific type of thing that we're doing. So just to give everybody a little heads up on some Oz stuff that's coming out this year.
Nice.
All right.
Very good. All right.
Very nice. All right. I guess I'll show this because he's here.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
There you go. There you go.
Right around the board. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Vicky Sticks, The Dead Princess #2 is launching on Friday night at 8 p.m. February 13th. We're going to be doing a live stream to launch that bad boy, right? That bad girl. And if you are a creature of the night that needs protection, then she is the last one you call before your soul is damned. The Dead Princess Vicky Sticks. Written by me, illustrated by Danny Hariwijaya, and colored by Chompy. See, I got his name right because I asked him to phonetically sound it out for me.
Okay.
I swear to you.
I think we have to have him recorded though, because I could have sworn it was Hari Jawa. It was something like that. But yeah, I don't. But yeah, it's a tough one.
Go down to where I got it. Go down at the bottom of that. See, Hadi Jaya. The last J-A.
It took a lot of work, bro. It took a lot of work, man.
Yeah, man. I've been practicing that, bro.
All right. Like I said, I think we'll get an audio. We'll get some audio from him.
But this is gonna be a 24-page full color book. This is a standalone story, and I just can't wait to bring it out, man. I'm really excited. Oh, excuse me. And cover is by Larry Toussaint, right? Based on Tom's pronunciation of his last. But I'm looking forward to it. We dropped issue 0, the prequel, back in October, so that did very well for us at New York Comic Con, and we're continuing with this, and she's moving up. I don't know if I could say she's the marquee character of Ensemble Comics, but we're getting really, really, really close, man. It's funny how females lead in comic books, but don't lead in movies, TVs, toys, right? But when it comes to comic books, females, man, you sell the shit out of them, bro. But I'm really excited to be exploring more of the dark corner of the Unstoppable Comics universe with this book.
Nice.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry. And the first stretch goal on this book will be part of the independent crossover that Tom Calderon, Marvin Nguyen, and Rob Mutari and myself are doing. So if you get every one of our Kickstarter campaigns throughout this year, you'll be privy to a very nice collected image. And all you got to do is back the book. You don't got to do anything extra than what you normally do. Just join our campaigns and be treated to a little something extra.
All right.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. All right, cool. Let's see real quick. I will pop up my campaign. I got another 3 days left with the Oswald Chronicles. So here we are, got another 3 days. This is a story of Oswald. What my IC, I cannot tell. This is issues 1 through 5. So this is the entire story in one shot. If anybody wants to pick up all 5 issues, they're all there. This is the story of when Oswald he's trapped in another dimension, and he tells the story of when he first fell in love with his wife. So that's the story that's going on there. So
I also have a review for that book up.
Yes,
I believe. You've got the link for that, I assume.
Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest, I don't have it ready.
I almost do. 30 seconds, and I'll have it.
All right. But this is actually pretty cool. So this is going. I got another 3 days. So if you want to jump on, now's the time. So thank you very much. All right. So, there we go. Yeah, if you can share it, but while you're pulling that up, Tom, you're up.
Okay. So this is going to be a little weird. There's context with this. The basic question is, does story matter? That's the basic question. Not to you, because we all know our stories matter to us. Like that's not the question. Does story matter anymore? Or I shouldn't say anymore, but in this sort of segment of time for comics, does it matter anymore? Or is it more important to just have a world being built that can attract an audience member into that world, and that's all they need, is that vibe, that feeling, that sense of, I'm in, let's just use Ray, I'm in this D&D world. I understand D&D. I understand what's happening in this world, even if I don't necessarily vibe on the specific story, like, but I'm in the world. I feel safe in this world, right? Some of the context for this has come from a lot of places, not the least of which is I've been reading a lot of old 90s comics, going back into the old days of like Image and things like that.
Mhm.
Specifically reading stuff like Spawn, Savage Dragon.
Story didn't matter as much per se.
Well, this is the thing, right? We all remember Spawn being this big hit, and it is. But when you go back and read that stuff, it's really hard. It's really rough, right?
Agreed.
But the world building is immense, right? So even though you're going from issue to issue and it's kind of choppy and we're going backwards and forwards and moving, and I don't know where we are, the world building was sort of a continuous engine of heaven and hell and all this stuff, and it just kept moving forward. And so people were like, well, again, I like this heaven versus hell thing. I like the art. Obviously, the art is a key piece, right? If people can't look at it, they're going to struggle no matter what. The art was there, and it's lasted all of this time through all kinds of incarnations. I've had recently people talk to me about my books where they've told me, I like your books, but there's a lot of story in it. Like that's a bad thing. Right? And I'm like, I don't know. Explain that to me, please. And the gist of it that I got was, okay, so look, you do these like fancy covers and stuff, and like we'll just use Penny for Your Soul as an example. You've got these angels and devil girls, and I love these covers, and they're topless angels and whatever. But then when I read the book, there's like a story in there. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what we're doing here, man. Like, what are you talking about? And so it's not that I got pushback from it, but they were like, well, it's not the type of story that I want. I would prefer if if the inside of the book was just literally those angels running around and they're naked and doing, nonsense.
Doing naked angel stuff.
Doing naked angel stuff. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Smacking each other in the face with their boob.
Right. So it's sort of, again, it's like vibe. It's world
places
building.
You can put that halo, man.
It's a place. Yes, that's correct. So are we in a place for this? We get a little bit of this for movies and stuff too, because people are always the vibe. This is a creepy vibe, whatever. Are we in a place where the story, the hard element story that we all understand ourselves, doesn't matter as much as just build a place that people want to exist in for a little while, and then put the comic book down and go about their day? That's the only way I can kind of put this together.
I'll go first.
Well, hold on, Ralph. Hold on. You're not first. It's Paige Alfred. You're going in a row. You're going in a row. So, Alfred, what are your thoughts?
Yes. For me, story is the first thing I try to put out and to develop. So, I can't see how you would do it without making that a priority and creating that world that you're talking about. So I don't know how you would separate it. So for me, I put out stories, the first thing that we develop, how you want to tell it, the pacing, the storyboarding, and and that's what we're using to get people in to the world. So,
let me just give me a second. Let me jump on that for a second, because you do heavy action, guns, stuff like that, right? Military type of stuff. Are you, as far as your buyers go, do you have a sense of they're there because they like a specific point of the story, a specific character, or are they there because they're action fans, for example, right? It's sort of like there's 1,000 Jean-Claude Van Damme movies, right? And they just go because they like Jean-Claude Van Damme. So are your buyers, do you have a sense, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, do you have a sense of maybe you have just attracted that action fan, right? And you've created a world for the action fan to be like, I like all of this explosion, I like the guns, I like the thing, but they're not necessarily concerned about whether that guy does right, does wrong, whether he has a girlfriend, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the feedback. I like getting feedback when people talk about the character itself within the story.
Yeah.
So it might be a point or a way that we're developing the character even in an action story. No matter what the story is, action or whatever, we're trying to develop the character in a certain way to read a certain way, and for you to relate to that character a certain way. And I like, as much as I like reviews that say, "Oh, the action is incredible," and the explosions and all this is incredible. I really love the reviews when they come back and they catch the character itself and how the character is reacting to these situations.
All right. Fair enough. Kevin, what are your thoughts? You're muted.
All right, I'm unmuted. Yeah, they're commingled with the story, the world and the story. However, maybe things can be too wordy at times, and so that's where, as a writer, you got to take a step back and let the action do the talking sometimes. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's what they were speaking about, Tom, when somebody said, I don't know if it's too wordy or whatever, but I think definitely the story is crucial. I think I recently saw something about Stan Lee, and part of his success was bringing that human experience into the comic. You know what I mean? That's what attracted people. That's part of the story. That's what they want to read, to identify with that story in that way. And so, in a sense, I had the same kind of experience in my story. And so I brought that human emotion and experiences of loss. You know what I mean? It's all part of the arc of your story. And so some feedback I got from the Comic-Con, as a vendor, I'll have people just pick it up due to that world of mythology alone, because they're interested in mythology. They don't see too much of that. And that's one reason why I'm doing this as an indie creator, to create an original idea, put out an original story, something new. I'm trying to grasp and create something new. It's never been done. Because I'm sick of the stories that are out there right now. You know what I mean? It's too repetitive. And so just trying to bring something fresh. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And so let's see what else I got here. Art. And other than that, the art itself can capture people's attention. They might purchase the book because of the art, and then that'll bring them into wanting to know about the story, especially if it's something they never heard about before. But one of the most fantastic things and feedback I got recently, that this artwork is completely phenomenal to me, in my opinion. And me as a newcomer, I had some feedback from a coworker. He went through, he's reading all 4 issues. He said the best part about this book wasn't the colors, wasn't the phenomenal art, it was my story. So to hear that from someone for the first time, you know what I mean? Because I don't get too much feedback, but you know what I mean? It's just amazing. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm a newcomer. This is my first project. I only started this a couple years ago. I'm a novice writer. Nobody knows who I am. Maybe one day I'll be something. I don't know. I'm taking a chance anyway. You know what I mean? So we're all putting in a lot of effort in the storyline, the editing, the art, and everything. So it's just a combined package.
All right.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Very good.
Mr. Ray, what are your thoughts?
Unmuted. My thoughts are it depends on your target market. So, as pointed out, if you've got action junkies, you're giving them what they want, then obviously maybe story should matter, but it's not as critical because of the audience required. Going back, as mentioned already with Spawn, Todd McFarlane, he definitely had a learning curve. He did an old secret trick that Arnold Schwarzenegger did, where if he tried something new, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he would try to make it fit his bodybuilding mentality. So if he went into acting, regardless of how good or bad he was, he would treat it hours a day, studying the method and trying to improve himself. Todd McFarlane had that learning curve of, well, I have the best eye candy ever. Nobody wants to really go back and read that as much as they would say Secret Wars from '84 or something to that effect. Does story matter? It's there's no definitive answer because there's so many things at play. If the story's there and people are buying it, if you replaced everything with stick men, would they still buy it? Is the story that good? Well, it does matter, but there's so many variables there, in my opinion. Yeah. But my book, much like Kevin was saying, who am I in this great big world? I'm just a novice. I'm an amateur, and in my eyes, at least. But people who have read it, they do appreciate big dynamics I've put in the book, including like little quips or little plans that go wrong or are kind of silly and people getting on each other's nerves. Something as simple as the very first page out of my 4 characters, I had an individual who was very impressed that I was able to introduce 3 of them casually, almost effortlessly. And I didn't think it was a big deal, but apparently they really like that dynamic. I think in regards to story, you would be a fool not to have it. I mean, we could just be a bunch of random action pages on a page. You have to have something in there. And the other variable is if you are a well-established franchise, Marvel or DC, for example, you can get away with having weak stories and still have relatively decent sales. Obviously, a good story is going to jack it up. But if you're up and coming, if you don't have anything, any history or success, and you come up with something new, it better be good everything. Well, the story better be awesome. That you've got to convince somebody, hey, buy my book. It's not anything you've ever heard of before. For me and artists, I wanted to make sure something worthy of the story, and I got the best of what my budget would allow. And obviously the best art, if I had Jim Lee cover, I'm sure I would sell significantly more issues, of course. But not to make this ramble too much, story does matter, but it's very situational.
All right, cool. Jay?
Yeah, story matters. It's how you get them to come back, right? Let me step outside of comic books for a second. Wrestling, right? The other name for wrestling is a rope opera. Okay, we already know what the wrestlers look like, right? In their spandex from week to week, right? The image is there, the flashiness is there, the muscles are always popping, right? But you want to see people get beat, you want to see people overcome. Let's go to boxing. The storyline for me in the late 90s, early 2000s was who's going to beat the villainous Floyd Mayweather, right? It was can somebody beat him? Can somebody beat him? Right? That was the overall story. Yeah, you want the flashiness. The money comes with the flashiness, right? Because the other side of that coin is, the Wildcats Jim Lee stories, they were pretty weak, right? Not just the Spawn stuff, but then you look at, in my opinion, Matt Wagner's Mage. I thought the story was great, right? But it didn't have the flash. And it's not here, right? He put out 3 different volumes out of stubbornness and sheer will, not because it was on the top of the sales charts. If we're talking about story, I think it's the execution of story that matters more than anything, and I want to talk about Invincible, right? And I don't know if we've all heard the story of how it was going to get canceled, right? And the big reveal of his dad being the killer was going to be revealed after almost 2 years in issue number 25, but it was going to get canceled. So he fast tracked it, to issue number 6, and it was like, oh, all right. And you want to see the story of why the hell did this guy do that, right?
Okay, I'm in.
Right,
Loved
but
it.
then if they pulled that trigger as the cliffhanger of issue number 1, it wouldn't have worked. We wouldn't have gotten involved in, because you still needed to let that story breathe a little bit for you to get that interaction, that familiar bond with somebody who was fatherly, and just nope, sorry, right? So execution of story matters more than anything, because the flash, the pop, it could just be a poster, and are you going to get continued sales with a poster, released once a month or once a quarter or once a year, right? You need the story to get them to come back. You need them to be invested in the story so they could see the flashiness and the artwork and the different costumes and the holy shit moments.
The art should amplify the story.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. The art is the
all
actor.
goes hand in hand.
Right. The art is the celeb. The art is the Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. So yeah. That's where I'm going.
All right. Cool. Coming from pros, the only thing that's important, or primarily important, is the story, is the writing, is the dialogue. Because without any of those things, you have nothing, right? You can't just sit there and be like, just grab a random pinup of some character. You can go some random generator that's going to, just generate some character for you. Just say, give them a hat, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then write some silly bio about them that, they can do this and they can do that and they can beat your mother and whatever. And here's what I'm presenting to the world. Nobody gives a shit about that, right? So you have to have a really strong story with not just that one character, but with all of the sub characters that go with them, the supporting cast, right? I'll say something. Some people might consider it controversial. Some people won't. If you take something like, and I know not everybody's a fan, and he's not in everyone's good graces at the moment, right? But Neil Gaiman, right, when he wrote Sandman, right, he had a lot of great artists working on there. But there are portions of that series that have artists that are, to be honest with you, not as good as the work that he was writing. All right, in my opinion, right. And it didn't matter. People read it anyway. They were reading it for his work. You understand? The same thing could be said for Alan Moore, right? Would Watchmen have been as good, right, or as revered if it was another artist, right, other than the one that was working on it? Could George Perez have done it? Could Jose Luis Garcia Lopez have done it? I think so. And would it have been just as strong and just as possible, just as powerful? I think so. You understand? And that's not a dig at the artist. The artist was incredible. I mean, it was perfection. It was a great job. You understand? On both ends. But in the end, it required Alan Moore and his words. You understand? His story. Because it would have required a great artist to replace another great artist. But, we got what we got, and like I said, it's still great. But in my opinion, story is the entire thing, right? Because I just recently got Parker. I'm blanking on the artist's name, but the artwork is very simple. Okay, it's a very simple story. It's a very simple art style, but the story is very intense, right? So you got a very simple art style with this very intense story. What's carrying that? Right? I mean, it's not Todd McFarlane level artwork. It's not Joe Quesada level artwork. It's not George Perez level type of artwork. It's Darwin Cook, I believe is the artist. And I mean, if you look at the very simple art style, blank on his name again, Toth, Alex Toth. If you look at his artwork, right? very simple stuff on occasion when he wanted it to be, because he drew in different styles, right? He could draw a very complicated style. He could draw a very simple style. But some of his most powerful stories were done in a very simple style, right? And he let that story carry on with the way it is. Just depends, man. I mean, but personally speaking, I think the story, if you don't have a story, you don't have anything. And for those fans who tell you, oh, you know, I mean, they just want something different from you, you know, Tom, I feel. You understand? Like, they buy your book, they see the covers, and they have a different expectation, right? Like with Oswald, I don't get that, right? Because they see that, they know what it is, you know, and then once they read it, that's when I get the other side. They're like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be this. Right. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. I thought it was going to be a simpler story. I thought it was going to be, you know, something not quite like that. And, you know, it surprises them because they see the artwork. Right. But with something like, let's say when I do Dreamweavers and I have the nude covers and I have all this stuff and they're like, oh, you know, I'm just expecting a booby book. And they're like, again, I got something different. I got a story in there. There was characters. There was fun. There was all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. It says, but I just came in here for the tits. But, you know, so, you know,
I'm here for the free food.
Right, exactly. You know, or the milk.
Wow.
But that's how I look at it, right? So you need those stories, you know. So I mean, you know, for me.
Well, you know, the reality is asking, you know, 8 writers whether story matters is not the right people to ask. You know,
right.
that's the other reality to this whole thing, right? Like we could go to Comic-Con and ask 100 just random readers, like, do you care what Spawn does, or do you just want to see him cut somebody's face off with the things? And we might get different answers, but I thought it would be interesting to just kind of have ourselves analyze ourselves a little bit and kind of see where all that sits, because I think Ray kind of did hit on the head. It is very sort of circumstantial. You can kind of do it this way, you can kind of do it that way. There's definitely the other part of this, like we were talking about Watchmen, right, is I've seen sort of the modern generation now trying to read that stuff, and they're coming out of it like, I can't even read this. It's taking me 30 minutes to read an issue when I read a regular issue nowadays, and it takes me 5 minutes. Like the attention span isn't there. That's another side of it, right? Where it's like, there's almost, is there a point of too much story for this audience, today's audience, versus, you know, what there was sort of back in the 80s or
it's funny you mentioned that, Tom. When I was in elementary school during the 90s,
oh man,
back when I hate you.
You can hate my guts. I'm. You know what? I am 1 month younger than the start of the original Secret Wars, but I digress. Anyways, during the 90s when Spawn was all the fad, there's a great parallel there. I liked stuff from the 70s and the 80s, but if anybody wanted to read one of the issues that I had, there's so much talking. Each panel has like 7 different things being said, 7 different sentences. The sound effects alone, there's too much for me to read, and that was in the 90s. And it's very situational, man. It's
there was a lot of tell, don't show.
Yes,
in those days, it was Spawn ran around the corner and his cape flowed like a bat.
Strength doubling, like, tripling again. Yeah.
I'm like, just show me and let's move on.
Show, don't tell.
So I'm kind of in that same realm where it's like, I don't want, like, there is definitely a too much dense for a comic book, right? We're reading a comic. It's not a novel. It's not Wuthering Heights, and, you know, let's make it a comic. But and again, I don't really have the answer. I just was curious as to what people kind of thought about it. I think it is situational. I think you can make naked angels doing angel things, and that's fine. And I think you can tell Watchmen stories, and that's fine. And I think it's just a matter of, you know, who your market, like, again, that was said in the room here. It's who you're marketing it to, who you're trying to grab and pull in. But again, it's like some of the comparisons, right? It's like, oh, do you like, if you like Walking Dead, you'll like this, right? So again, that's vibe and style and genre, not really telling somebody what the story is, your story. Like, I have a zombie story. Do you like Walking Dead? Come in the door. And you hope that the vibe just takes them and they enjoy whatever it is that they're getting. And I kind of feel like that is a lot of where we are now. Everything is, well, do you like that? Then you'll like this. And that's okay. That's a marketing tactic. It works. But again, it goes back to, does that story matter, or does it only matter that it's like something that somebody else already likes?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you're saying that the kids, they're saying these things take too long, because there was a complaint for a while where it's like, man, I'm spending $5 on a comic, reading it for 5 minutes.
Right.
It's not enough, right? Remember that complaint, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
now
There's
you're
a
giving
weird
the comic-
balance.
Right.
Well,
So it's
dude,
like, where do you find that balance?
the reason why they're doing it that quickly is because it's 20-page stories now, right? They figured out it's more cost effective to do a 20-page story, because those extra 2 pages that they're saving gives them a 12th book for free at the end of the year, right? So they're going through it that quickly. But something like Dark Knight, which I read in elementary school, Mr. Magnificent,
Hey,
insulted
and
me.
I just looked it up. I'm exactly 14 days younger than Secret Wars #1. I'm just throwing that out there. Sorry,
Okay.
continue, JD. My
You're
bad.
lucky Winnipeg is so far, bro, because I'd be up there shoving my foot so far on your backside.
You're welcome to shatter your cold, frozen foot on my butt anytime, JD. That's not a
But
problem.
no, but like, the Dark Knight Returns, that was very dialogue heavy, right?
Yeah.
And the art was different. The art
It was
was
Miller.
flashy, right? It was something that drew us in. So it was a hybrid of both.
Yeah.
You will find those things that stand out both story-wise and art-wise.
If that art's going to be good, or sorry, if the dialogue's going to be high, the art has to match it.
So
Yeah,
There has to be a
but
connection.
not
Hey,
necessarily.
There has to be a connection.
I should have clarified, my bad, for the younger groups. Like, this is great, but it takes so long. Well, if it's really, really good, they'll at least give it a pass. I should have clarified that, my bad.
Hey, so but JD, you're spot on. Tom was spot on. Kevin, the connection has to be there on the story. Great story, great art, action packed. Believe it or not, I have several people that are related to the Atreidian because of his deputy, his alter ego, and all the things he went through. And I had several people telling me, "Hey, man, wow, we can relate to what he's going through." That connection is important to that human connection, like what Kevin said. I think that's extremely important. And if you can hook those guys and then the action guys and the guys who like cosmic superheroes, that little mixture, man, it usually works for a plan for success, but that story has to be there 100%.
That's right.
Anybody ever read Class War by Rob Williams?
Yes.
Yeah.
That to me is one of the
It's
most
a good book.
it's political. It's that straight out amazing story. I highly suggest it to anybody that can and I connected to that story really quick, man. And Trevor Herzine, his art was awesome.
Yep. Trevor
That story really blew me away. I highly recommend it as far as touching you. But that's important. Key factor is that if you can connect with those people, your readers, your fans, that's number one. That's key. The story has to be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Cool. Good question, Tom. Good question.
Yeah.
Listen, so I'm gonna go in the opposite direction. Here's one about business.
Does art matter?
No. Art doesn't matter. No.
Yeah, it does.
Ask all the writers if art matters. No, no, only the words matter.
That's it. And we're only just saying that so that we can hopefully bring down the page rates and everybody. All right. So when is the best time to use POD versus offset? Right? So, and this is for those people who maybe aren't that well versed in this world. Right? So when is the best time to use POD?
Tell them what POD is.
Yeah,
They don't know.
On demand, print on demand, right? Offset printing is offset printing, 4-color printing, right? So you send it off to a big printer. Kevin, you're up. What are your thoughts?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Print on demand.
Right. Print
What do you
on demand. All right. Well, let me ask you a quick question. Who are you using as a printer these days?
So I use Mixam, and so print on demand.
That's
You're talking
what
about just
POD
versus like a big batch or what?
Right. Well, you're doing over 1,000 books with them?
Over the series, yeah.
No. Over the series, but I'm talking about individually. Per
What's
issue,
that?
you do it per issue? Are you doing over 1,000 issues, not 1,000 pieces per issue?
Not yet. No.
No. Right. So you using them as a POD printer. Right.
As a what?
So print on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So we'll keep moving forward, and then the rest of us can probably answer this question. At least the guys I know definitely on the top line. DM Ray, what are your thoughts?
Right now, I'm print on demand plus a little bit, and in my experience in industry and manufacturing, ideally you want the short version. Toyota refers to it as JIT, or just in time, where you're continuously having enough to feed the next batch kind of thing. And that only works if you have a well-oiled machine of both production and a supply of customer and demand. And what's the word? It eludes me. But long story short, I'm print on demand plus a little bit, just because of my current situation. If I get any means of success and there's a bigger growing interest, I'm sure that would change given the right amount of numbers to justify.
All right, cool. Ralph, what are your thoughts?
Print on demand. I wish I could get to 1,000, backers, but that's the goal. I've increased every Kickstarter, so print on demand for right now, guys.
All right. Paige Alfred, what are your thoughts?
I only use POD after my initial sales. So, the first run is regular, and then I go into a POD like off websites or whatever as per order. So I do both.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Hey, JD, I just wanted to add something. I'm actually PWD, which is print without demand. I'm printing. I have. I'm anticipating I get demand one day, hopefully, right? And so, not POD. I print without demand, man.
Gotcha. All right, that's fair. Good answer. I like that one. What are your thoughts, Tom?
Well, we've always printed at least 3,000 to 10,000 units from when we started, so we've always been offset. And then as we started doing like holofoils and things like that, those started to go through a different printer. Those went through the print on demands where we could say like, look, we need 12 of these, we need 18 of those, or whatever it is. And then those guys do a great job on the high specialty stuff. They can serial number, numbering and do all that kind of stuff that would be too much for the big guys to deal with that. Plus we do, 5 or 6 variant covers too. So it's all kind of, it all kind of varies. Like if you get 5 or 6 variant covers to just a POD place, you're not paying for any sort of plate changes. It's just fed in, it's digital. You just go and you get your price, but it's a little bit higher just because you're only printing 100, 200, 300 units, where you come in and you're like, hey, we got 3,000 books that we have to print. We've got 5 covers. We're paying for plate changes, which bumps it up a little bit, but it's still not the same higher rate that POD often is. So it all just comes down to how many you think you are going to need to be printing, or not just for your specific, like we need this many for now, but if we know we need 500 now, but we're going to need another 1,000 over the course of the next 4 Kickstarters, print them and have them. Get your unit cost down. You're going to have to store them somewhere. You got to have storage, which again can raise your costs if you can't do it at home. But get your per unit cost down, and then you have them on hand when you're going down the line and doing more. Here's issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, issue 5, because no one's going to buy issue 5 if they can't get 1 through 4. So it's right. You got to kind of have to have that as part of your thought process too. With
yeah.
All right, cool. Mr. Rosario, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, Tom gave the perfect answer. While he said it, that's what I had been formulating. I'm gonna co-sign on what he said. I want to add that it all depends on where you're at, right? And how many movies you think you can move, not just on Kickstarters, but conventions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
it's also the different creative ways you can utilize some of those excess copies. So I use them in our mystery boxes and our collector's boxes also at conventions, right? They're the add-ons. I use them at panels when I do a convention. I'm at a panel, right? We'll lay them down on the seats before we go to speak to somebody. We use sometimes some of those free units. I mean, some of those those offset printed books as freebies for people to sign up to the newsletter at conventions. You know, when you look at the cost of acquisition for a lead, big business is paying anywhere between $20 to $100 for somebody's email. And here we are, right? And I could do that for about $1 for the book. Yeah, I'll give you $1 for your email so I could sell to you later. Here's the free book. But bow, you could do that when it's offset printing. When you're doing print on demand, you really can't, because sometimes you're paying $2 and change, right? Or maybe more now for that. So it's not just what you can move into Kickstarters, which is key, because that's how most of us are doing our business, right? And yes, we operate on a totally different way than the direct market does. If you got issue 1, good. If you got issue number 1 and number 2, 2 will sell issue 1 and 2. If you got issue 3, 3 will sell issue 1, 2, and 3. You got issue 4, it'll sell 1, 2, and 3, and 4, right? So you're only helping yourself. Is it a bigger bite in the beginning? 100%. 100%. It's not easy for everybody. You got to build yourself up to that point. And it's also the space, right? Calderon, you were at my place, right? You saw the space that I got. You saw the stacks of print on demand boxes tucked away in this corner, tucked away in that corner, tucked away in this corner. Yes, there were jokes that's my furniture.
Yes.
Because sometimes you may need to, but it's how you move it. How I mean, it also comes with your mindset, right? Is this still a hobby for you, or you want to make some money? So that's another way to decide whether you're going to go with print without demand, Kevin, or have it ready for that point, right? And I like to have it ready for that point. Or I did, excuse me, and that helped me out at this point, because you know what's another hassle? Having to order another stack of books every time you're going to do a convention. No, boom, you just pull from your pile, man.
What do you recommend, JD? I usually do 100 over. So if I sold 200 at the Kickstarter, I'll do 100 over. You know, I use Images by Mahar there in New York, so he's really cool about
yeah, we use them too. I use them for my POD stuff, right? Because I do multiple covers also. So the A cover, we have the big print one, right? Or the premium covers, like Tom was talking about, right? The holochrome or the full cover, stuff like that. I use Aaron's a good dude when you can get him. You know, but it's, you know, you also got to, once you're doing offset printing, you know, your budget, that's a totally different mindset when you put your numbers together, right? So it's not 100 over, it's how much per unit, right? And it's like, okay, can I get my per unit count, even with shipping, to under $1 per unit? And that's what you want, right? Because when you're selling it for $5 shit, that's a 400% markup.
Right.
Businesses kill for a 40% markup, and here we can go with a 400% markup for, you know, a $5 book. Fucking take that, bro. Bang that out, right? And then, like I said, I do these mystery boxes and these collector's boxes when I'm doing conventions. We sell them for $25 a pop, and we put less than $10 worth of product in there. Less than $10 worth of product. That's something 11, 12 books, man. You know what I mean? They got a good chunk. And then if they open it up in front of you, shit, you can sell them on all the other books that you got at the table, right? Oh, you're missing number 3 from this set of 5. You're missing number 2 from this set of 8, you know? And then you get that, and you have that there. And you don't have to be like, oh, well, I gotta order it. Could you sign up so you can order it later when it comes out? Forget that. You get that shit ready. It's on hand, baby.
That's a great accent. I like that one.
Yeah, I'm from New York, bro.
That is not a New York accent.
Why is it when you want to quote somebody you don't like, suddenly you use a stupid voice like this? I don't get it, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
I don't even. I didn't even have to say anything. They said it for me. All right. To answer my own question, to go along with Jay, a lot of Jay was saying is correct. I'm not going to dispute that. I have a different way of doing business, right? It just depends what you're looking forward to, right? I prefer trades to single issues. So when I order POD, I order very tight to the vest. If I'm printing 50 books, I'll be lucky if I get 3 or 4 extras. All right, maybe 4, maybe 10 for damages. I'm ordering very close to the vest. The reason being is any extra revenue I'm getting, I'm keeping it, I'm holding it on. That's I'm paying out to my artists. Okay. I'm not interested in my convention sales because I don't do any conventions. So it doesn't mean anything to me. If I'm doing another campaign and I'm going to be selling those same books on a campaign, I'm placing the order with my printer anyway. So it doesn't matter. I'll just order more. All right. It's POD. There is no price change on those books due to the amount of price, the amount of books I'm ordering. Right. So I keep my costs as low as possible so I can put out more. Also, the other reason is that when I run through that series, right, with Oswald Chronicles is a series of short stories. So when I'm done with that short stories, my key goal is to get it to a trade paperback. Okay. And that trade paperback, those are the ones, and I haven't done it yet. Those are the ones that I should really be ordering offset, right? Because those are the ones that I'm going to be selling forever. The individual issues, I want to sell out of those. I want to get rid of them. I want to be done with them. Okay. I want to be able to tell my fans, look, if you got them, that's all limited edition stuff. Whatever you saw I printed on for the campaigns, that's all it is. And if you're going to resell them, you could probably mark them up because there's not going to be any more. There's not 3,000 of them. You'll be lucky if there's 400 or 500, right? But the trade paperbacks, that is what I'm looking for because that's what's going to sustain me indefinitely, okay? Because you can sell tens of thousands of those. Tall Tales, Daphne and I have literally sold thousands of copies of those books, okay? And I'm talking about trades. Right, we've literally sold thousands of those things. The reason is because we just keep reprinting them. We will print them at 100 at a time, sell out, boom, we'll print another 100, boom, and we'll just keep selling, right? So that, like I said, it just depends on what your goal is, right? If you're going to do a lot of shows, then yeah, you probably want to print a couple thousand books. If you know you're going to do two conventions a month for the next 2 years, you're going to want to print a lot of books because you're going to be looking at output like that. But if you're doing like myself, or I'm just doing Kickstarters, I'm not interested in going to conventions at the moment. Then your business model is a little differently. Like I said, a little different. You might want to just pull back a little bit, conserve your cash because cash is king. Because when you don't have it, you know it, right? Yeah. And then sometimes when you got it, you're like, oh, I got too much, and you start spending on stupid shit. But whatever, we'll do that.
That never happens. Oh my God.
You start buying Galactus toys, and it's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah.
Galactus toys aren't done with dollars; they're done with Galactus points. We've gone over.
Yeah.
This.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Now, what I'll do is I'll just start buying like covers for a book that won't come out for another 2 years.
Right.
I'll just
I bet you if I tell anybody, you could get a 200-page hardcover full color for $5 a pop, you jump on it, right? Because you could sell it for 40, maybe $50. You'd be like, hell yeah! But you got to buy 500 units, right?
Yeah.
That's 2,500 plus shipping.
Ouch.
That's gonna bite you. That's gonna bite you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you'd go for it. You'd go for it because a couple of shows or a couple extra Kickstarters, or excuse me, forget about a couple extra Kickstarters. You got 5 different crowdfunding platforms: Kickstarter, BackerKit, Indiegogo, FundMy, Crowdfunder. Whatever the user base is on each platform, right? You got that one book, you cycle it. You get 20 from this platform, you get 30 from that extra platform, you get 10 from that extra platform. Those are sales you weren't getting before, right? That's where you can, and Zoop too. There you go, BMD nerd. Yeah, bro. And Zoop too, if you could get on there, right? You take yourself around the block because there's people who don't want to use other platforms. You know, they're tribal. They'll stand on a certain platform. You know, then you got your own regular website. So you gotta. It changes the mindset, right? Is it a creator thing? Is it a hobby, or is it business? And then you know how much and where you're going to order from.
And the other question is are you pretending to be a business?
Right. You can pretend to be a business, but you still got to operate like a business, bro. Because if not, you're going to lose your shirt. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't keep your lights on because you want to make another comic book, well then shit is fucked up.
To put it technically.
You know, so you gotta think like that, bro. You gotta think like, even if it's college business 101, you gotta utilize it. You gotta implement.
How about business 102?
What's up?
How about business 102?
That's even fucking better.
I have that issue.
I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna knock it, but you can't go into this, you know, with a hope and a prayer. Like, oh, will you please read my book? It's not gonna happen. You know,
plenty of people go into it with that mentality.
Exactly.
You gotta hustle,
last, brother.
Hustle.
Right? And I'm not.
You either got to hustle or you got to hire J. Scott Campbell. You got to do one.
Damn, I want that guy.
Yep.
I want that guy.
That guy. J. Scott Campbell, definitely. All right, gentlemen, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. We made it to hour 2, so this was awesome. And let's start with Mr. Ray. Where can he find you and your work?
You can find me on 2 different places of Facebook. DM Ray. DM is short for Dungeon Master. I love me some Dungeons and Dragons. You can also find the Madcaps Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram at Raymond the DM. DM Ray was taken. One last thing that I did not say when I was promoting my pre-launch for Kickstarter. I currently have an artist contest for line art. The winner will have their art in this upcoming book, colored by Dan Kemp. I did this last year. The winner, I actually hired to do one of the covers coming up, which I have yet to reveal. So if you want more details, you can find that on my DM Ray Facebook profile. It's pinned to the top. All the information is there. Go and check it out.
All right, cool. Now, before we continue, Ray, if Jay does manage to make himself up to the Great White North with his boot, just Dungeon Master for him. He did want to play. He did mention he wanted to play D&D the last time when I was over at his joint.
You want to play D&D?
Yeah, I want to play D&D, kid.
Let's do it online. We'll talk later. Anybody else that wants to play, I'll set up a game of one shot. We'll make some characters. I know Tom absolutely loves doing this kind of thing. He always
cannot possibly get enough.
But no, seriously, JD, I'm all in. Let's do it. I'm all in. Message me later. We'll make some characters and do some cool stuff.
All right. Ralph, where can we find you and your work, sir?
Yes, sir. Starcross Comics, Facebook under Ralph Madrigal, A Trady Injustice, X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all over the socials, guys. All over the socials, man.
You doing the dances?
Yeah, no. Mexican dance, man. La cucaracha, baby.
That really sell a comic book. Some of those dances.
There you go. All right, Alfred, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Yeah, so Page One Comics, associated with Comicsburg. You can follow the Comicsburg website. Again, I'm part of Philbo's distribution now, so you can follow some of the new releases that's coming out throughout the year underneath that Page One Comics and Project Chess on Facebook. So yeah, I'll be at a couple of places, and I'll soon be announcing my convention run this year. So,
all right, cool. Kevin, where can they find you and your work, sir?
All over the damn place. I'm in Ohio, man. I'll be in some multiple Comic Cons this year. March, we got the Space Annual Small Press Alternative Comic Expo, where I submitted my books last year. First time there last year. A couple of my books were nominated for an award. So they're still choosing. I'm not a winner yet, but I'm a nominee to be chosen along with many others. So that's on the Kickstarter page. So issue 4 is on the Kickstarter. So I normally run around with 6 Nicks comics. Hoping to get in with 5-star comics in Dayton. So I run around Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, and Akron. I live in Columbus right now from Cleveland. So I'm all over the place doing Comic Cons generally throughout the year. Also with Jim and Dan Productions, Gem City Comic Con out of Dayton. So I've been pretty busy. That's really the main place where I sell is in person, and I have to get somebody's attention as they're walking by and sell it. As you know, 3 to 5 seconds into the art helps me grab their attention, and then I begin telling them about my story. So other than that, I'm on crookedcomics.com, Crooked Comics on Instagram, as well as Facebook.
All right, cool. Tom.
Thank you.
BigDogInk.com. You can get all the books that you need. We got back issues, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, special stuff. We launched The Legend of Oz, Wicked West, January 24th. Volume 7 goes live. And then the week after that, I will be in Monroe, Michigan, which is right below Detroit, for the Michigan Oddities and Horror Fest. That'll be our first con of the year.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Mr. Rosario, where can they find you, sir?
UnstableComics.com. You'll find all of our social media links there. Friday nights, Comic Book Streamland with these guys here on the top row, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Friday, February 13th at 8 p.m., we're going to run a live stream for the Dead Princess Vicky Stick number 2. And if you join the live stream, you may be eligible for a freebie as long as you're a backer while the stream's going on.
Like that.
All right, cool. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places on the JD Calderon. Next Sunday night, we'll be back here along with these fine gentlemen and some new guests. And Friday night, I guess I'll be with Jay. Maybe. And then, just remember, everybody, check out the show notes, all right? Because in the show notes is everybody's links to all of their various campaigns. All these creators are doing great books. All of them deserve your support. So please click on those links, pick up some books, right? And just remember, everyone, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Later.
Good night.
Good night.